I believe our second academic All-American, and that was a heavy heart when we learned of that news this week. But a life well lived and a legacy well lived. And I want to say thank you to Dominic Sue for coming back and, in his own quiet way, didn't want to give a big speech, just wanted to meet the fellows and answer questions. And, it's kind of funny. He said a couple things I say all the time, and I looked at Deshaun, and Deshaun said, "Yeah, Coach, he says it just kind of hits different." I said, "Thanks, Deshaun." But and Dominic and his family, just so blessed that they were there. And then finally about the game, that was a close win. In many ways, it was a tough day. Credit to Rutgers, credit to Greg Schiano. They did a ton of things against us, but we didn't turn the ball over but once. We won the turnover battle. And I thought it was as great a defensive performance as I've been around. 6 plays inside the 2. Just whereas maybe 2 weeks ago in Illinois, we were kind of looking at the clock, worried, are we going to win? I thought this game, this day, the guys just wanted to keep going out there and playing. And they'd have kept playing another series if we let them. So proud of the guys, proud of the team win. And Busini, I thought, was an all-star again today. So with that, I'll answer your questions.
Coach, were you expecting that many big plays, impact plays in the defense as you saw, especially in the second half?
We knew it was going to be a challenge. We talked a lot about the run game, and we knew number 0 was quite a player. Now one of their wideouts, Strong, was down. And we knew Cali McManus, how good of a player he is, because he beat us last year at Minnesota. Same type of game, right? 14-3, whatever it was. He makes the play down the stretch, taking 2 minutes. So it was almost like, what do they call Groundhog Day? It was almost Groundhog Day. He gets the ball back, he's going to go down there and score. But our defense practiced harder this week than they have probably in 2 years here. And I think that what they put in came out when the game started. And it was a lot of different guys. We played a lot of different guys, really adverse situations, and really a lot of 3rd and 4th down stops, which was critical.
What did you guys adjust about your run defense? They had 70 rushing yards in the first quarter, and then I think they got the 78 for the game. What did you guys do different?
Yeah, I think it was really kind of 2 things. I think they played the first quarter into the wind, so they really ran it a ton into the wind. The wind was really a factor. People won't see that on TV, but that was really, really a factor. And then maybe not as much in the second half, but certainly in the first half. And then they had the wind in the second quarter, so they threw it a little bit more. And I thought if you go back to the first half, really a lot of those plays were just missed tackles. Gift comes off the edge, hit him in the backfield, just missed the tackle, right? They had one that starts right, comes all the way back, winds back, missed the tackle. So it wasn't like, oh, they've got us on this scheme. We're so grateful to have the iPads now because you can kind of look at it and be like, it's not a scheme thing. We're just missing tackles. They had the 1 3rd and 22 after the sack, and they checked it down, and he made a guy miss and got it to 4th and 3. So I think it was more that, to be honest with you. And we started playing some man. We played some bigger guys. Like Tony's a 3-3-5 guy, but he was playing some 5 down with 2 jacks today. I was really proud of him. That was like him leaving the family almost. But he did what we needed to do, and we played some 3-man rush. Some 3-2 stuff. So he had 3 different personnel groupings out there. And then I thought we won 3rd down and 1 4th down. That was my key for the defense today. With this game was I said the defense had to win 3rd down. Rutgers gets into a lot of 3rd downs. If we won them, we'd get off the field. If they stayed on the field, they would wear us down, and that was what we were trying to avoid.
What did you see from Brian Busini today? Obviously, he went down with that injury. I mean, were you worried that he was out of the game? Then you call him for a fake punt and probably won the game with that last punt for you guys there.
Yeah, I mean, he was great. I mean, obviously he got hit hard. And we knew we were going to call that fake punt, and really almost called it the first time, and then almost called it at the 5-yard line, the one at the 5 when they blocked it. They were bringing 10 guys, and there was no one covering them. And then finally we called it the 3rd time. But I just Brian, what we thought was the unsung hero last week, and I'd say he's the unsung hero this week. And he did a great job on the last one. We were asking him the 1-step punt versus the all-out max block, and he saw them drop out, and so he slowed down. He took 3 steps, and he just boomed that kick, And we took the ball today, wanting to have the wind in the 4th quarter and make them go into the wind in the 4th quarter. That's why we took the ball. And I thought that ball got up in the wind, and it spiraled and spiraled and spiraled around. I mean, had that young man tried to catch it, it might have, it would have been a tough catch. I'll just say that. So, I'm really proud of Brian. He showed kind of showed the heart of a lion out there.
Did he almost have to? I mean, it looked like he was hurt fairly bad after the first block. Did he? How close was he to? You were warming up Camden Cook. Like, how close was Brian to coming out?
Yeah, I got out there and he wasn't moving, so I was concerned, obviously. And he was like, "I'm going to be okay. I'm going to be okay. It's just I forget it was my back hip," and got to the side, and I said, "Hey, can you just throw the fake punt for me?" And he was like, yes, I can throw the fake punt. And then we had Johnny Hall kick off. And, I said, well, can you throw it into the wind? Just, and he was like, yeah, I can throw it in the wind. So he was just locked in. I think he's the guy who's burned the boats in his brain. He's going to do whatever it takes. And medically he was fine. Just, I think he just took a big hit and was hurt, just felt it.
At the goal line stand, they had 6 cracks after that block punt. How impressive was that, and how important was that to the grand scheme of the game?
Yeah, I think the thing that our guys are learning is when you have some adversity, it's an opportunity for you to rise up and do something special. I think we're getting past the point of wanting things to be easy, hoping the other team doesn't play well, and just wanting to go out and play well ourselves. And so that's the message in this building. Hey, don't want it to be easy. Go out there and play. And I thought they took the field. They wanted to get out there. We took the PI. And, they played hard. I mean, Tony had a little twist stunt. He ran twice. And Nash came around one. I forget, I don't want to not give credit to somebody, but they made big hits and kind of knocked it out of there. And then just defended the 4th down play. So, I mean, just some really great stuff. And, it was a tough day in the second half on offense, right? And really on 3rd down. But we did come out and hit that ball to Jay Lloyd, which kind of opened the field up a little bit. And so then we were able to at least, kind of get out of there. And I might have the drives messed up, so you have to forgive me if things go fast for me in the game. But I thought the defense, they didn't really care what happened today. They were just going to keep playing.
What lessons do you think Dylan can take out of a day-to-day when they were coming after him and he had some moments he'd probably like back?
I think this is all part of the continuum of learning and growing. And I think you go back and you just say to yourself, what was it? What bothered me? But at the end of the day, let's make sure, at least for me, I have to make sure, we weren't high flying today on offense. We weren't scoring. We scored 14 in the first half, which was good because they've had a lead pretty much every game, right? The whole key against a team like this is you got to get the lead and make them not play. Had they been up 14-0, we would have seen 70 runs, right? And so we did get the lead, and so that's what we needed from the offense. But the key is that we didn't, we protected the ball. We had the 1 interception on the RPO, but after that, even as he's taking those sacks, he's at least protecting the football and we're punting the ball away. So, every week, last week it was the field goal, this week it was the punt, this week it was a couple sacks. There's a lot of things we have to improve upon in all areas. Kind of as we fix one thing, something else pops up. But, that was a day for the offense, as I said, to them just in there just now. They were having to draw new things up. And Greg Schiano is one of the greatest defensive coaches that there is, and he had stuff out there that was really confusing. He had Mike linebackers playing D-line, and guys were trying to figure it out. So we'll get better from it.
With the offense, you had several, 3rd down, 4th down, short yardage tries. Brought in extra linemen, Liebentritt. I mean, just what did you like about those looks and the way the guys executed?
Yeah, well, we know Micah's a big, powerful guy. He's been practicing with us, and so we were going to take some. We were here to win today. It was 4th and 1 on our own 30, whatever it was on the first drive. We ran power. We ran 4th and 1 on the goal line. We thought it'd be a good matchup for us. Him knocking the edge back. We really like Barrett Liebentritt. I think he's a guy that's getting better and better and better for us. Even the one backed up, we hit that run. I think the big, today was a day of we run the fake punt, and this is not negative. It's just we run the fake punt, and they just tackle us, and it's oh, geez, man, the returner got us. Or we hit that power, and the safety comes across and gets us late. Kind of needed to step out of one and make that a 21-0 game. But it was good to get Mike involved in the game, and this will be a tape that we can learn a lot from as we heal this week. It's been a tough ride here, right? So, in terms of 6, not many teams in the Big Ten, I don't think have done 6 straight games. Maybe a couple have. A lot have had a bye. So, I'm glad we have a bye, and we'll see if we can get better.
You came in and mentioned that Kaliak Manis had you guys in this spot a year ago and went down and won the game. Was that in any way on your mind when you were out there, or was it just something that came in when you stepped up to the podium?
No. Well, I mean, at the end of the day, we knew that as I try to orchestrate how the game could go, I always talk about how I wanted to go, and then, hey, the things that could happen. And one of the things for me was hey, if it turns into a throw game, how are we going to play it, right? And they've shown excellent protection. They double chip both edges and they try to protect. And we played a lot of man early, and then late in the game, as we had the lead, we went to a little bit more zone after they hit those 2 deep balls in the 3rd to last drive. But no, when I'm out there, I'm just my mind's just thinking, right? But I just know he's a good player, and so when you've played against someone, you've seen what they can do. But I was happy that the field worked out where they were throwing into the wind, and I thought our pass rush really showed up.
It was warm there early on. This is the first season you guys have switched sidelines. Did you feel the advantage of being in the shade for the first half?
Yeah, well, I don't. I mean, I think if I'd have sat on the other side, I might have felt worse. I don't know that I noticed. Other than it never felt super hot to me. I mean, I think I was more taken with the wind. I don't know if I've ever been a part of a day that's 95 and that windy, especially early on, and then gusting, and so even in pregame, the balls were kind of flying around a little bit. You remember now? I think they missed a field goal earlier, correct? Right? Am I right on that? Right. So just thought the wind would be a big deal today. It was unique in that the wind came out of the south. It was going south to north in pregame, and then when we came out for the kick, it was going north to south. And Dr. Elza does a great job. She talks, and they told us it was going to flip as the day went on, and so they actually gave us the win for the first quarter, and so I thought we did a good job early on in the game. But it was just a lot of different factors out there, but it wasn't too hot for us. And again, we played a lot of guys knowing that we wanted to be fresh in the fourth.
What kind of value is it to win one-score game? I know last week was a very close game, but this is a one-score game to prove to your guys that they can do this.
Yeah, I don't even think, respectfully, I don't even think it's even like, hey, you can do this. I think it's more like, how do you do this? And how do you do it is you don't start looking at the scoreboard and the clock hoping that it runs down. You play. I'm like, just go play. And so even at the end, like, they got that first down on fourth down, and like you didn't see our group look dejected. You didn't see them. The defense just lined back up and played again. And Busini you need some guys to make some plays, right? Busini makes that punt. Like that punt's amazing in that condition. So I think it's just the how. The how is getting to those moments and having your heart rate not rise up, just continuing to play, and just trying to make one more play than they make.
Are you surprised they didn't go after that last punt of yours? And they just let him punt?
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I think the thought was, hey, we're one-stepping it. Hey, let's go ahead and get it. Let's get it out and then return it. But I'm glad they didn't. I didn't know. That was my concern, was them blocking it. Again, and it's all a simple thing. It's some veteran guys. A guy. They're bringing one more than we can block, right? And so they're not covering anybody. They're coming after you. And so if I could go back, man, I'd have called that punt fake earlier, because it would have. You sit there, you're sitting there all week and you're saying to yourself, man, I bet you they change. I bet you they're not going to do it this week. I bet you they change. And so when you get out there and see it, you're like, oh, okay. And then I should have done it on the 5-yard line. So, but I think doing it, even though no points came out of it, I thought the guys on the sideline were energized. Like, hey, coach is with us. Coach Foley's with us. Ed designed it. When I say I called it, like Ed wants to call it every time. It's just me being like, all right, as the game manager, okay, let's do it, Ed. So it was a big time call, and it worked out. It flipped the field, and maybe that slowed them down later on in that last drive.
What kind of boost did James Williams give you?
I'm sorry?
James Williams, what kind of boost did he give you? I mean, he's making plays. Talk about guys making plays. There's a guy right there.
I think James is a guy that's practicing. He's trying to get better. He's doing really well in school. He's growing in every facet of his life. I'm very proud of him. And, he practices really hard, and as a result, he plays really hard. This was a week that we did a lot of stuff with big people. So there was reps this week where him and Kai and those guys were going over the scout team and giving the offense a look. No agenda, no egos, just trying to get better at their craft. And then, again, because we took the ball early and because we were able to get a little bit of a lead, now you're able to pass rush at the end of the game, and it kind of changed everything. Anybody else? All right, thanks, guys.
Where's that goal line stand rank among moments that you've been here?
Yeah, it's definitely top 5 moment. I just think it was awesome to see the guys as we huddled up. Everyone was in the same kind of mentality mode, whatever you want to call it. Just saying, we don't care. We're gonna go out there, and we're gonna show what kind of defense we are. And I think we proved today what kind of defense we can be.
When it comes to James Williams, not the biggest guy, but how does he do what he does out there?
Just through effort. I mean, the guy is constantly going. I mean, even at practice, we got some of the best tackles, I think, especially when we go one-on-one pass rush in team scenarios. And, just his work ethic. I mean, it's just awesome to watch him go out there and do his thing. And especially since he's so open to learning from us older guys and Coach Knighton and Coach Rule. I mean, he can't get enough. So just to watch him go out there and see his hard work, come to fruition and see him do what we knew he was capable of ever since, we first signed him when he came here is awesome. It's awesome.
How motivated were you guys to stop one guy? I mean, he had about 60 in the first quarter, but then he had nothing the rest of the way. I mean, what was your game plan to kind of slow him down?
We knew what kind of running back he was. We knew he was probably going to be one of the best running backs we've seen. Last week in practice, I think Kenneth Walker deserves the biggest shout out of them all. Scout team running back was running, just as hard as him, if not harder, and allowing us to go live this past week for 2 days against the scout team offense. I mean, those guys made it fun and competitive and got us really, going for this weekend.
What can you say about Busini and that 69-yard punt just before the last series and how that impacted things?
Well, Busini's technically, part of that defense, right? I mean, he's doing his part of helping us pin them down in their own 10-yard line, right? And that allows us as a defense to go out there and play a little bit more loose and more free because we know they got to drive, 90, 80 yards to go score a touchdown. So to watch him go out there and, battle through the adversity was really awesome. And it just kind of shows the character of him and, just like that mentality we have as a team. Because, that's all throughout the team. He's just done a great job at, showing it.
You guys want to give him a black shirt after that?
Yeah, we might have to.
Go ahead.
Getting so many fourth down stops, did you kind of see their offense kind of like demoralizing, just like, oh, here we go again, we got to get it, and then you guys just pounded it out?
That'll do that to anybody. I feel like if, an offense keeps getting, those fourth downs, it kind of, makes the defense have to think a little bit harder of how to stop it. But, same thing goes to them. They were a hard physical team up front, and there's no doubt about that. I have a lot of respect for those guys. I just think, our roster just decided to, play a little harder or whatever it may be. I had a lot of fun going against those guys.
How'd you guys feel going out last drive? 2 minutes left. They had a long field to go. What was the vibe like in the defensive huddle?
Well, I think the events, early in the game, all the big plays that were made, the 2 interceptions. I think we had 6 sacks tonight. I think they all, and even that goal line stop, they all fueled that last drive to go out there and just say, this is the defense we are, and this is the defense that we're going to, become still and be here for the rest of the season. So to go out there and, all 11 guys do what they're supposed to do, it ends up winning the game.
Hey, Ty, you guys played 6 games, 6 weeks, get a bye week. How needed is this bye week? I think it's your last home game for about a month now, but you'll be on the road for a key stretch.
Yeah, no, you guys are fired up to still, it wouldn't matter if we didn't have the bye week or not. I think it'll be a good mental reset, mentally, physically, kind of get the bodies back a little bit. I know I'll need it, right? But, it's still going to be the same preparation for us, going against Indiana, 1-0. We're going to enjoy this 24-hour rule, right? And then, come tomorrow, watch the film, see what needs to get done, and then, execute that stuff going on this next week and the practices we have.
After what happened at the end of the Illinois game, how you guys played these last couple weeks, not that you had to prove anything, but what does it validate these last 2 weeks about the defense as a whole and maybe the team as a whole?
Well, I think I could say this is that we were, disgusted and kind of disappointed in ourselves after that Illinois loss because, that's not who we are. And, we really had to come back and ask ourselves who we really were and remember, what we were capable of, especially with the guys on the defensive side of the ball. But to watch, all aspects of the team kind of come together and show that we all can do this together. I think it started, at Purdue. It was awesome to go out there and get that win, and I think it just added on to, like I said, the preparation this last week. I mean, we were all aspects of the team were in watching film on anything we could.
Anything else for Ty?
Your biggest takeaway from the Dominican Sioux pregame?
He really pounded us, or I guess he kind of really asked us this one question was, what's your why? He explained what his why was to us, and why he was the player he was, and how that motivated him. And I think that was kind of a big message for us this whole week, from my own coach, Coach Nyan, to Coach Rule, to Dr. Stout. I mean, it kind of just seemed like everybody was coming from a different angle and just asking, what's your why? Why are you here, and why do you do it? And I think tonight we found out that a lot of guys found their why, and I think it's just going to get better from here.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Questions?
It's been a while since your last reception.
It still felt unreal, you know. Been in college for 4 years now. I've had interceptions before, but I don't know. That feeling is always just surreal, and it's different, you know, especially offense goes down the field and they drive the ball down and score right after it. It just made it that much better to seeing the complementary football work itself out. It was fun to see.
I think you had the last breakup on the goal line stand. Looks like you had a lot of room in front of you. What did you see there? And you're just glad to knock that ball down and prevent them from scoring.
I mean, yeah, I'm glad. Anytime I'm in man coverage, I'm happy when the receiver doesn't catch the ball. But man, I wish I was still running right now with that. It was a good play. Could have been a great play, and you know that's all about me just going back, looking at the film, and executing the next time to make that play happen for myself and for the team.
What do you guys think, though, about that ability to stop them 6 times from inside the 2-yard line?
That was nothing short of elite, you know. That was just 11 guys going out there not caring about what the circumstances were, where the ball was on the field, and we just do what we do all the time, mold together and play for each other more so than anything. It's exciting and very fun to see when we make plays like that because, you know, we know that we can make any play on the field, but just seeing it come out into a game and we execute it like we did on that series, it just really makes me happy.
Marquise, what does it say about this defense? And I mean, you know, Dylan throws the interception, you get that back, you guys make the stop at the goal line that, you know, every time that it seems like the game could slip momentum-wise, you guys are there to pick them up.
I just think it speaks about every guy on our team, not even just the defense. This is a very resilient group of people I'm around, and, you know, seeing how nobody on our team backs down from anything, you know, even in practice, the look guys, the look team, I feel like those reps are the hardest reps we get all week. So, you know, just seeing how everybody can make it come in full fruition and, you know, make it happen when we need it to happen and make the plays when they're supposed to count.
Sierra had his first interception as a Husker today, too. Did you get to see how he wrangled that one?
I didn't see until the end of it, like as he was coming up with the ball, but I couldn't be more happy for Sierra, you know, coming in, transfer late, but he's been nothing short of a brother to us, and seeing him get to make that play and the rest of the plays he made today, it was very fun to watch.
They ended up with just 78 rushing yards. I think they had 70 after the first quarter. Did you still feel pretty good about your scheme, like after that first quarter? It was just a matter of filling some gaps or making some plays?
Yeah, schematically we always are. We're always fine with whatever the coaches put us out there in. You know, we feel that it's up to us to execute the calls and make the plays when the coaches put us in position to make the plays. It's funny you speak about the first half. We were upset going into halftime about, you know, missed tackles and not tracking the near hip, all the little stuff that we pride ourselves onto doing. And, you know, the second half seems to spoke for itself. So I didn't know that. That's a pretty cool stat to hear.
Marquise, I'm sure it's different for every position. It affects every position differently. Can you talk about playing in the elements today, the heat, the wind, and unusual for an early October day?
I mean, yeah, it was October in Nebraska is usually freezing here by now. You know, maybe some snow. But, you know, we've conditioned ourselves for this. You know, we had very long days in the summer and in the fall and in the spring where it was really hot on the field, hotter than it was today. And, you know, I don't think it really affected anyone. Offensively, I feel like we have quarterbacks that can throw through any type of wind factor. So felt like the wind was honestly any type of, you know, climate stuff. I feel like we're always ahead because, you know, we've practiced for every scenario. We haven't missed a beat on anything. So
After going through what you've gone through in your career here at Nebraska, you've won 5 out of 6. You guys are, what, +6 in the turnover margin. You win a 1-score game. And you feel like things are turning in the right direction here?
Honestly, I started to feel like things were turning in the right direction when we started winter conditioning and mat drills, really. Seeing how guys didn't back down from anything, any other tests or trials that the coaches gave to us. Everybody ran through everything head first. So I feel like this isn't something that happened, in the past six weeks, This is something we've been working on for months and months and months, and trying to assure ourselves that, we don't let stuff that is in our hands beat us anymore, Anything that we can handle, we're going to handle. And that's just the expectation on this team for everybody that's on the field.
What do you think of Busini today?
I love Brian. If we had 130 Brian Businis on this team, this would be a great team because, a lot of the time the kickers or the punters, they don't get a lot of, recognition or respect. But Brian holds weight on our team, and today showed it. Gets hit, block punt, and I think he got hurt, not anything that was slight of an injury. And, just seeing him come back, he kicked like 2 or 3 kicks that were game-changing, flipping the side of the field for us. So I couldn't be more happy for him and more grateful to have him on our team as well.
Thank you, Marquise.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Dylan, that was obviously a different style of football game. How do you manage a game like this compared to maybe some of the other ones that you've been a part of here?
I mean, hats off to their defense. They played a heck of a game. Had a great plan against us. I mean, those games happen. I hate to say it, but I mean, we just got to go back. And I thought it was a really good defense coming into this game. So our defense stepped up big time when we needed them, and couldn't be more grateful for them. And even our punter. I mean, Busini is just a true just representation of our program, and couldn't be more proud to have that defense. And yeah, I mean, we won the game. That's all that matters.
How would you rate his pass?
Oh my gosh, he spun it too. I give him a 10 out of 10. I loved it.
How much was the wind a factor just with what you were trying to do out there today?
Yeah, it wasn't really a factor from a game plan standpoint. It was more just kind of figuring out where it was. It kind of changed throughout the game, but that's part of football. You got to play in different conditions, and yeah, we adjusted well, and I'm just glad we won.
You moved it pretty efficiently in the first half. You had like 206 yards, I think, at halftime. What sort of shifted or you think got a little off course in the second half?
Yeah, I think just execution, and I'll take that one. I missed some throws, that we could have kept us on the field, and yeah, I mean, it's all part of learning. And just like I said, if we didn't have that defense, we might be in a different point of view right now. But yeah, we'll get it cleaned up, and we'll make sure it doesn't happen again.
First half of your first season is down. How much do you think you can take all of these? You had so many different experiences. How much do you think you can take all of that and build from it and learn from it and going with what's next?
Yeah, I think it's huge to have this bye week and kind of reflect on all our games we've played so far, understand what teams are trying to do and get after us for, and yeah, it feels good. Naturally we want to settle and kind of just coast right now, but we really gotta step on it and keep going. So I know our team will respond and we'll use the bye week to our advantage. But yeah, we're happy, and it's nice to get a win going into the bye week. We'd hate to have a L. Yeah.
There were several short yardage conversions. Got the extra lineman, Barrett Liebertrin in the game. I mean, just what do you think the run game's ability to get those tough yards?
Yeah, our O-line's physical, and they pride themselves on it, and they work on it every day. So couldn't be more proud of those guys up front. Moved the line of scrimmage, and I think we were the more physical team in the trenches. So hats off to them. Hats off to my uncle getting them ready, and yeah, we'll keep the train moving.
You get to reconnect with Sue. What are your memories of him, and what was it like to see him this week?
Yeah, it was awesome. I haven't seen him since I was a little baby. Not baby, like 8 years old or something. And so I really only remember kind of just every time he made a play, I thought everyone was booing him. But they had come to find out they're saying Sue. But no, I mean, I think that's one of the cool moments I'll probably never forget, was be able to share the tunnel walk with probably the greatest Nebraska defensive player to ever play this game. And yeah, it was good to reconnect. And I told him he's so lucky he had it, so stay a little bit away from me and hurt me.
Hey, halfway through your first season, what do you like about college football and about this team?
I love the games that come down to the wire. I mean, it's a fun situation. You practice and you train all off season for it, and the Big Ten's a physical conference, and I think they can compete with anybody. And yeah, it's all about learning right now and cleaning up next stuff for next week, going into the rest of the season. But proud of our team, proud of where we're at, and we keep pushing.
All right, thank you, Dylan.
Thank you.
All right, question.
How you feeling?
All right. How are you feeling?
Itchy.
Nice.
Hip, back, all okay?
Yeah, I'll be fine.
Would you like more, the pass or the 69-yard punt?
69-yard punt just because of the situation. Now, if Jalen would have scored, probably the pass. He told me he was going to score, but we'll have to get him to work on that a little bit.
Were you surprised they did not come after you on that punt? On the last one?
I wasn't, because when we faked it on him, we expected him to play a little bit less aggressively. I saw the two guys in the A gap drop right before the snap, so I felt like I'd have a split second longer to get it off, and so I was able to feel a little bit more calm back there.
Having a guy like Brett Maher with you, can you lean on him and get?
Oh yeah, he's the
because
best.
I saw you guys. I think before the band came out, you were punting that direction when you made that, and that was basically the punt you practiced right before.
Yeah, he's just got so much experience because he played in the NFL for so long. So just all these little situations, we're just bouncing ideas off each other. Hey, how are we gonna play the wind here? Different stuff like that. And so yeah, before the last punt, actually, he came up to me and said, it's not too many times that a punter has a chance to put a dagger in a game. But he said he called the shot on that and jinxed it or whatever. But yeah, so he's just an incredible tool for us. But that's someone who we need to continue to lean on, because obviously there's a lot of improvement to be made in the special teams area.
What was the situation with the wind there in the fourth quarter? It was a 97-degree day. You think it's coming out of the south, and you had a north wind at your back in the fourth quarter. Did your coaches talk to you about wanting the wind in the fourth quarter, and how did you see? Because I'm sure you have to be really aware of that as a kicker.
Yeah. So that's something we were looking at the forecast, and it was supposed to flip from pregame. You guys know it was coming from the south, and it switched throughout the game. So that's something that Coach Rule planned. We wanted the win in the fourth quarter, and it worked out great. And it could have worked out. We might have 0 punts in the fourth quarter. Who knows? It could have gone a million different ways. But that's just something that. The more Coach Rule, Coach Foley are here, they'll be able to understand the different ways that the winds are going to blow in the stadium, and they're really starting to take advantage of that. So I thought that was huge, because I felt that the Rutgers kid hit a couple touchbacks, and that was huge instead of getting the ball at the one. So just learning to play the wind here is something that's going to be a huge advantage for Nebraska moving forward.
Have you been in a game where the wind has been that much of a factor before?
Oh yeah. I mean, last year when we played Illinois, I remember we had a kickoff that went to like the 20 and we recovered it just because it was like super windy. So yeah, you'll get 3 or 4 games a year in the Big Ten like that, but it's just important to try to hit a clean punt into the wind and see what happens. I got lucky on a roll today going into the wind, so we'll take our wins where we can, I guess. But yeah, I've been in multiple games like that since here.
Was there ever a thought, like that first punt, they got partially like, and
Yeah.
then you go down, were you just shocked or hurt, or how bad, and was there ever a thought like, oh, I can't go?
I wasn't. I've had punts blocked before, so I wouldn't say I was shocked. I felt like I had a good operation time, so we gotta have to look at the film and see, how the guy came free. But I went over to the side, and the trainers started working on me, and I took a couple swings to the net, and my back was hurting pretty good. But honestly, it's not something I ever thought about coming out, because it's, God has put me in this position to be able to play here, and this is my senior year. Like, there's so many things, like, why on earth would I, like, a little back pain, like, who cares? To go out there and tough it out. And if I go shank it 5 yards and then it's obviously better for them to put in Camden, then they can take me out that way. But I'm not just going to go out on my own terms. Like, that would just be not, the type of person that I want to be, for this team.
You had multiple guys up here talking about how you are part of the defense. When you hear
that's
like
nice.
Ty Robinson and Marquise Buford saying stuff, how does that make you feel on being such a big contributor to a huge one-score win?
Yeah, I don't know. Those are nice words, but I mean, those dudes are dudes. Like, Ty's like a freak of nature, and like John, like, I'm just the punter. But that's really nice of them to say that. I'm going competing against a ball, and they're competing against dudes that are trucking me if I go out there. So yeah, it's very nice.
You guys are obviously working through some things in various areas of special teams. The last week, the effort that you gave to make several tackles, and then tonight to come back from injury and complete a fake punt, the punt at the end. Like, what do you feel about your role right now in setting an example for that whole group that's trying to get things right?
Yeah, I think just try to be the same guy every day. I talked a little bit out there with Jess about just trying to insert myself into any position that I can to help the team better themselves. I don't want to be someone who talks too much, but when there's an opportunity for me to either lead by example or say a thing or two, I'm going to try to do that as best as I can. And so I think over the last 2 weeks, as you've seen, I've had the chance or opportunity in the game to kind of help the team through more of an example role, whether that be making tackles or coming back today when my back was hurting a bit and trying to hit good punts. So, that's something I've just tried to do throughout my career, and it's showing itself a little more now than it has maybe in the past. But just try to be the same guy every day, and the results come. And if I shank it 5 yards, I'll just be the same guy on the next punt.
Practice that pass that you threw today. Is that something you guys rep a lot?
Oh yeah. I've been throwing since my freshman year. I feel really good in my arm, and so it was crazy looking at the film. They don't cover the gunners past 10 yards, like, ever. So we were like, we owe it to the football gods not to throw it at them. So it was just a great route by Jay Lloyd. Actually, we were out there at halftime on our practice field because we didn't want them to see anything, throwing on the grass, and I felt good. So we've practiced that thousands of times. Not just that route. That route was specific to this week, but we've been throwing a ton, and I've threw a couple with the quarterbacks this week just because we knew that we had a really good shot with that. So.
When was the last time you threw a pass in a game?
Never. Yeah. A lot of practice though.
You go on that little turf field, or is it the grass field you were practicing?
The grass, just because we wanted to go the same direction as the game field for the wind. Yeah.
What's the longest punt you've hit in a game?
74 versus Wisconsin. Definitely wasn't my best punt, but was my longest.
Anything else for Brian?
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.